Welcome to the lesson on literary devices. This video is designed to be an introduction of the topic of literary devices, which are narrative techniques that add texture, energy, and excitement to the narrative, grip the reader's imagination, and convey information. We will cover these more in depth in class. Again, this is just designed to be an introduction. The first literary device we will look at is alliteration, which is when there are several words in a row that start with the same consonant sound. An example of alliteration would be, I constantly crave crunchy carrots. The next literary device we're going to be looking at is allusion, which is to make reference to something without explicitly mentioning it. An example of allusion would be when authors make reference to biblical events or figures. The next literary device is connotation, which is an associated meaning to a word or expression in addition to its actual meaning. An example of connotation can be found in William Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar, when Caesar states, "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears." In this example, ears connotes listening. The next literary device is denotation, which is in contrast to connotation, the literal or primary meaning of a word. An example of denotation would be the word chick, which literally means a baby bird, but is often used as a derogatory term for females. The next device is foreshadowing, which is an advanced sign or warning of what is to come. An example of foreshadowing would be when an author describes clouds at the beginning of a chapter and it eventually leads to a rainstorm later in the same chapter. The next device is hyperbole, which is an exaggeration that is not meant to be taken literally. An example of hyperbole is, next to Ava, Brutus looks like he is the size of a horse. The next literary device is onomatopoeia, which is a word that represents sound. An example of onomatopoeia would be a dog's bark.
Who's here?
The next device is personification, which is the attribution of a human characteristic to something not human. An example of personification would be when we turn the fireplace on, the flames appear to be waving at us. The next literary device is metaphor, which is a comparison not using the words like or as. An example of metaphor is Brutus is the size of a horse. The last device we're going to look at is simile, which is a comparison using the words like or as. An example of simile is Brutus is as big as a horse. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, just to reiterate, this video is designed to simply introduce the topic of literary devices. We will discuss each one of these more in depth in class. These examples and definitions were meant to be short and simple, but it is important to note that these devices are not always as obvious as the examples I used in this video. So as we progress through different authors and different works, we will analyze each one of these devices more closely and examine why an author would use these and what effect it has on the reader. See you guys in class ready to analyze some literary devices.